Hello everyone, my name's Mike and this is part 5 of the 5-part series for making a procedural generator. Welcome back. This is for ProcJam, the procedural generation jam. As always, please go to episode 1 if this is your first episode, but if it's not, and you've been following the whole week, well guess what? We're there. We're at episode 5. We've made a generator. Well done. And today is all about those final steps of getting it finished and working, and so that you can share it with everyone and admire your creation. So you've already written a generator, hopefully. You've been writing some patterns, and today is about showing you how to get it to work. Now, this doesn't mean that your generator has to be finished. There's loads of opportunities to sort of add to it. You can go back and add to the code anytime you want. Really, this is just to show you in just a very short amount of time over the course of a week how to get the basics going, and then maybe, who knows, maybe you'll start a new bot with all of your experience. Maybe you'll add to this one. And one final thing, don't forget to enter it into ProcJam if you want. ProcJam happens once a year, usually in November or December. We're releasing these videos around the time of ProcJam 2025. But ProcJam always accepts late submissions, and there's always an opportunity to enter if you want to. So please feel free to share it with the community. We would love to see what you made. So at the beginning of the week, I mentioned that we were going to make a bot for either Mastodon or Bluesky. I'm going to be showing you it for Bluesky today, which uses a website called BlueBots Done Quick. The Mastodon equivalent is called cheapbotstootsuite.com. In both cases, these are completely free services, so don't worry about the cheap word there. These are both based on Cheapbots Done Quick, which was a website for Twitter, RIP, which basically did the same thing. So it took tracery code, which is the stuff we've been writing for most of the week, and it wraps it up so that you don't need to worry about API keys and things like that, and it puts it into a bot that posts every hour or every 6 hours or whatever, and then you can have it online and you can show it to people. So if you're watching this, a few years from now and Bluesky has completely imploded, my guess is there will always be a, bots done quick equivalent for whatever social media site people are using. Who knows, maybe there won't be, but fingers crossed there still is. But I'm going to be using Bluesky today. The principle is very similar. So what you're going to do is, first of all, you're going to create a completely new Bluesky account. Bluesky is totally fine with you doing this. It won't be weird about it. But make it for your new bot, give it a fun name. My recommendation is that you put the word bot somewhere in the title. I'll mention this again later, but one of the goals here is to make sure everyone knows that this account is a bot. It's not trying to pretend to be something real. Once you've made it, go to Settings, go to Privacy and Security, go to App Passwords, and then make a new app password, for your bot. And make a note of this phrase because you'll need it if you want to come back and edit your bot later on. And if you go to BlueBots Done Quick and put in the name of your bot and the app password, it will be able to log in and post as your bot whenever you want it to. So in theory, once you've set it up, you never really need to change it ever again. If you don't want to, you can just leave it to run. But if you do want to edit your bot later, you will need to remember your app password. So jot it down somewhere, maybe add it to the text file with your bot's patterns in, just so that you've got it somewhere. On the next page in BlueBots Done Quick, you'll see a little window where you can paste in the code for your tracery bot. And it should look basically the same as it did on the tracery.io website. And also, if it runs on the tracery.io website, it should also run here. You'll be able to check that in just a bit. And I just wanted to point out that you can choose which rule or which pattern the bot should start from. So we've been using Origin the whole time. Hopefully you still are using Origin. But if you've called it something else, you can just choose it from the drop-down. You might have different patterns that you want to use for different bots or something. If all goes to plan, you should see a post preview underneath. So you can see in the top left, it's showing me when my bot posts, this is what it will look like. And I can actually click reroll there as well to see multiple outputs. And it should work exactly as it did on the tracery.io website. You can also choose, if you scroll down a little bit, how often you want the bot to post. I would recommend no more than every 3 hours, probably. Every hour can be a little bit frequent. It's bad for two reasons. One is that people can get annoyed if they follow your bot. But also, if you've only worked on the bot for a few hours, you might find that it repeats itself quite quickly. So every 3 hours is probably a happier medium. And maybe, as you create it, or maybe people demand, maybe that people are saying, they wished it could post more frequently. You can just log in again with your app password and edit that anytime. And if you like how everything looks, if it all looks fine, you can save settings and activate your bot. And then your bot will be live, it will be working. So your first task for today is to go and do that stuff. Once again, remember to save your app passwords, you should already have your bot's tracery code saved, but definitely save your app password. And also spend a little bit of time dressing up the profile page for your bot. So here I added some public domain paintings of cheese that looks very beautiful. And I gave a lovely photo of a block of cheese as the profile picture. Another really important thing, is to sign your work. So make sure that you put a link to kind of who you are as the author in the bio for the bot. Again, this is really useful just to reassure people, like if they come here or if there's a problem with the bot or anything, they know they can go and notify someone. And it can also be useful for you because if your bot breaks, people will often come and tell you. And if they don't know who you are, they won't be able to tell you. So that's your first task for today. Go set that up, go rewind the video and go through my instructions, and fingers crossed you will have a bot working by the time you unpause the video. All right, well, congratulations, hopefully. If not, you know where to come to ask for help, but hopefully it's all working. And so the next step, first of all, I would recommend playing with your bot a little bit. So you've already got over the hard part. The bot's working, it's now posting stuff. So go back to the tracery.io editor, or maybe the settings page on Bluebots Done Quick, and just re-roll the bot a few times and try and kind of come at it now you've got the relief, you finally released the bot, you don't need to worry about all getting it finished now. And actually start looking at it and what are the things you're noticing. Maybe some of the patterns are too repetitive, maybe some of the word lists are too short, maybe some of the surprising things are turning up too often. Go back in, spend 10 minutes just tweaking and polishing the patterns, but crucially don't overthink it. Like the fact that you've got something working is a huge achievement, and especially for ProcJam, we want people to make something for the first time. We don't want people to worry about it being perfect. Part of the fun of a procedural generator is that it breaks sometimes. And one of the reasons why I said to you, don't use ChatGPT at the start of this week is because I wanted you to get the fun feeling of, sometimes it works and it feels amazing, sometimes it breaks and it's kind of funny. So this bot doesn't need to be perfect for you to share it with us. And once you've gone through that polishing phase, I won't ask you to pause the video. Remember that you can come back anytime and change this bot. I know some people who have been working on their bots for years and years, and they just constantly tweaking, going in, adding new details and things. And they create these very, very complex and big bots as a result. You also now have a new skill set. You can now read tracery code and understand how people's bots work. So you could go back to the list of bots that we saw on day one at Bluebots Done Quick. And you can actually look at some of them and see like, oh, I can now see like how this one uses templates to make this thing work. So that might give you new inspiration for your next project. And I'd also recommend that you come and take a look at the procedural generation jam. So it's linked to at the end of every video, but every year there is a new jam with new entries, a huge array of generative things. And what's really interesting is you might think this week like, oh, I've been working on a text generator. It doesn't have anything to do with like a dungeon generator. But actually lots of these skills, lots of these ways of thinking, they're all connected together. And so looking through this, it might give you inspiration for your next project, or you might realize that, oh, I actually want to build something like this next. And then you can go and find out how they made that. And if you feel like it, tell people that you made a thing. Tell your friends, of course, tell your family, but I'd love to hear about it too. If you made something through this series, tell the ProcJam community. We love to see things that people have made. That's why we do this. We don't do this for money or fame. We do it for making weird little things and sharing it with our friends. So come and be part of that. Come and show us what you made. And just from me personally, thank you so much for going through this video series. I made this off the cuff. It's somewhat untested. We may have to update it in future years. But I hope it was just about clear enough. I hope it got you through the basics. And I'm really, really glad that you got this far. So as a reminder, come join us on the Discord, come join us in the jam, and comment on this video if you made something. Let me know what your bot's called and where it lives. And good luck with whatever you make next. Thanks so much, and I will see you soon.